Now let's look at the solution to question number 5. Question number 5 is a long composition question. The first part of it simply states every year there are floods or droughts in the country. Victims suffer a lot. The government does a lot to help the people, but it is not enough. Society also must do its bit. Write a speech in 150 to 200 words to be delivered in the school morning assembly describing how the students can also help by collecting clothes, money and medicines from their neighborhoods. You are Arun or Aruna. So if you read the context of the given question, remember the particular question comes with a marking scheme of 10 marks, which means the distribution of marks would be very important here. If you look at the format, 1 mark is allotted to the opening address and the conclusion, where you address the given audience first, such as good morning to one and all present here. Today I so and so my name. Like if you go by the question, you have to sign yourself either as Arun or Aruna. So write that and say that I am here to present my views on the topic so and so. Once you have addressed the audience, then you build up on the value point, the main body of the question, and make sure that your speech after the opening address has a valid conclusion so that you can reach out to the audience. After that, the content is what carries 4 marks and the expression, like always, gives 50% marks, thus 5 marks in total. So for you to score a good perfect 10, it becomes very much essential for you to be always right with grammatical accuracy, appropriate words and spellings, each carrying 2.5 marks. Coherence and relevance of ideas and style also carries 2.5 marks. Therefore, now when you pick the value points, make sure that your write-up is well laid out. Now, the first value point that you can use is floods and droughts in the country, a natural calamity that occurs mostly in monsoon, but it is expected of us to be prepared all the time to manage the disaster. And building upon this, you can talk about identifying flood-prone regions and preparing them in advance should be the first priority. Once the government is able to do that, then effects of flooding have to be taken into account, such as damage to life and property, farmers being the worst affected in the entire misery. So you give details, you give statistics to raise that public sentiment, and then go on to describe how preparing for flood should be the next step. Evacuation means, shelter homes, relief camps, etc. All these should be the priority of not just the government but every citizen. So what is it that we can do? So here, depending upon government schemes only is not the right way to address the matter. Therefore, measures that can be adopted by school students to help the needy have to be highlighted, such as gathering clothes, money, medicine, etc. At the same time, spreading awareness regarding the NGOs supporting the cause can also be a suitable measure. Moving on, safety of all and early evacuation is the most pressing need. Thus, to conclude, you have to emphasize, urge everyone to help from all ends to rehabilitate the affected ones. So once you emphasize upon this, you are able to give a good concluding note to your speech. Now for those of you who want to choose the other alternative, which is a debate question, can choose to go with the second part. It says rain harvesting is the only solution to water crisis in the present times. Write a debate either for or against the motion in 150 to 200 words. You are Sujata or Ajit. Now here the format changes, but the marking scheme essentially remains the same. If I talk about the distribution of marks, the format in 1 mark is supposed to be allotted where topic introduction, addressing the audience, mentioning for or against the motion, and thank you at the end plays a crucial role. Once you incorporate this in your debate, your format, which gives you 1 mark, is complete. Similarly, content carries 4 marks and the expression again constitutes 5 marks. So if you have elements of grammatical accuracy, appropriate words and spellings correct, 2.5 marks are allotted. Coherence and relevance of ideas and style also carries 2.5 marks. So once I am sorted in terms of distribution of marks and I choose to side with the topic where rainwater harvesting is the only solution to water crisis in the present times, then I can present my argument from a valid standpoint. I can choose to be for the motion. You can begin with ideas how water conservation and management has now become a worldwide survival issue due to accelerating water shortages, uncontrolled development, population growth, aging infrastructures, growing agricultural demands, a general warming trend, and the ever increasing cost of and demand for natural water resources. So once I highlight my premise, the best part to begin the debate would be how you address everyone in the audience, the respected judges, introduce yourself with your class, and then give the main idea as your introduction. Moving on, you can build upon the debate by taking into account both the opinions at the same time, such as rainwater harvesting is a viable solution to help meet this demand and help solve our water crisis and storm water runoff problems. How essentially? It reduces demands on groundwater. It can be used for several non-drinking purposes as well. At the same time, during rainy season, rainwater is collected in large storage tanks, which also helps in reducing floods in some low-lying areas. Therefore, apart from this, it also helps in reducing soil erosion and contamination of surface water with pesticides and fertilizers from rainwater runoff, which results in cleaner lakes and ponds. So once you've worked on the pro part of it, you are able to take into account what the other party might also say. Similarly, rainwater harvesting reduces the strain on our infrastructure. We often hear on the news, on local traffic report, that another water pipe has burst. Therefore, most of our infrastructure is reaching the end of its lifespan. We rely heavily on municipally supplied water sources to provide us with non-potable water for irrigation, flushing toilets, washing clothes. So all our needs are dependent only on that. Thus, rainwater harvesting can be a suitable alternative. Thereby, this growing reliance places unnecessary pressure on our infrastructure. Therefore, utilizing rainwater can supply our homes and businesses with a decentralized water source for non-potable uses and even potable water uses if necessary. Once I have laid out my claim, it's easier to convince the audience why for the motion was a better side, and hence rainwater harvesting has been utilized all over the world for thousands of years. With the increasing population and demand of water surging at twice the rate of population boost, it is a viable solution for solving water issues around the world. If I choose to go against the motion, then all my opinions become stark in opposition, such as unpredictable rainfall is the first demerit. So, rainwater harvesting is suitable in those areas that receive plenty of rainfall. Secondly, initial high cost is also one factor. Depending on the system size and technology level, a rainwater harvesting system may cost anywhere between 14,000 rupees to 1,40,000 rupees. And benefit from it cannot be derived until it is ready for use. So, you work on the demerits if you want to build on your argument against the motion. Thirdly, regular maintenance is a factor. So, rainwater harvesting systems require regular maintenance as they may get prone to rodents, mosquitoes, algae growth, insects and lizards. And lastly, I can also emphasize upon storage limits, such as the collection and storage facilities may also impose some kind of restrictions as to how much rainwater you can use. During the heavy downpour, the collection system may not be able to hold all rainwater, which ends in going to drains and rivers ultimately. So, if I work on these counter arguments, then my argument against the motion would be a good one. So, I hope the explanation of both speech and debate was effective enough. Choose your answer wisely before attempting which choice you would make, and I am sure this will be a simple question to score in. With this, we can now easily proceed to question number 6, which will be the final question of the writing section. Let's look at solution to question number 6 now.